I think he's a remarkable man. Very bright. Graduated Harvard, top of his class. First black to do that. And what does he do? He goes out and he works in the streets of Chicago. He could have commanded, $500,000 easily from law firms, and he didn't do that. In my view, he's the best hope I've seen in maybe ever in my lifetime. John Kennedy had a lot of pluses for him, but he also came from a very wealthy family. And Bill Clinton came from poverty, and he probably could have done great things if he wasn't undone by his morality and lack of morality.
Why, he's a good man. He makes sense when he says something.
And another point that people forget or they don't mention, they're afraid to mention it, he's actually the first African American to be president of the United States of America, and I think it's historical.
Right now, he's the focal point. And right now, America can choose to embrace the future or just go along with the same old policies that, have driven this country since the founding.
So I think he'll be as good a president as we could have within the system that we have, which is flawed to begin with.
This country needs a black president. They need to understand their own history. They don't know where they're coming from, and until they get a black president, they can't even finish dealing with their past. That's one.
Finley, the American people understand it's time for a change. They know we need policies that grow our economy from the bottom up so that every American everywhere has the chance to get ahead. Not just the corporate CEO, but their secretaries too. Not just the person who owns the factory, but the folks who are working on the factory floor. These are the American people that I'm standing with. Those are the folks that I'm fighting for. That's the kind of leadership I'm offering. That's why I'm running for president of the United States. I want to be a president who will put you first. Because I believe in the American people and what we can do together.
Our system is so ingrained that I'd be a fool to think that, there would be no outside influence on him. He would honestly look out for the greater good. But again, as a politician, you can never tell what these guys are going to do once, they get in office. What his policies going to be? I don't know. But I hope that, he's honest to his words and he'll actually make a change.
Le grandi corporation hanno un grosso controllo a livello di Senato e a livello di Camera dei Deputati. Lui può proporre molte leggi, può portare avanti molte discussioni, non è detto che le proposte poi vengano approvate al Senato, non è poi detto che vengano passate alla Camera dei Deputati. Sicuramente lui ci proverà, sicuramente quello che la gente si aspetta da lui è che lui ci provi.
Everybody hopes that Obama can do a whole lot of change, but then again, he is a politician as well, and he will face the same realities. When he was raising so much money that he was able to outspend McCain 4-1, chances are he got some money from big corporations, and chances are he's going to be in their pocket as much as most others as well. I mean, his health plan, for example, is a little better than McCain's, but it's not much better. I mean, the only one who had a good health plan is Kucinich. And
because he stood up against the norm. Everybody else was saying, yeah, we've got to go into Iraq, we've got to do this. And he said, no, I don't think that's the case. So I think that he'll be able to stand up against big business and corporations. The other thing is, right early on, he said several times, he made mention of the difference between the haves and have-nots. And he made reference to the amount of money that's made by corporations. He's clearly not driven by money, in my view. I think he's driven by social justice, and I think that that's a terrific thing in a leader. So
no, I mean, Obama is always been portrayed as the messiah or the big change. I don't think he's going to change much. It's just the fact that he's here as a Democrat and as an African American. This is already the big change. His policy for example, for Middle East and Iraq, I don't think he's going to be able to do much. And I don't think he's going to go against the big corporation. He's funded by the big corporation as well. But it's a change still. It's a small change toward the right direction, I would say. It's not going to change much.
I think he can. I think it will take some time. I think overall people have to be a little more fiscally responsible on a personal level. But I think that he can. I think it will take a couple of years though, but I think he can lead us out.
I think with special projects that certain lobby groups want to have done, he'll have much more difficulty, especially when it comes to getting certain bills passed through Congress. I think some of his initiatives might be compromised because there are so many special interests that are controlling not only the senators and congressmen, but that he himself has received a lot of money from to get into power. So he has to pay them back, and it's just the way the systems work. I mean, you have to do it.
We'll end this war in Iraq. And the last thing we need to do is take on the corruption on Wall Street and in Washington.
That's right.
Make sure a crisis like this never happens again. We'll put common sense regulations in place to keep our markets free and fair. Restore accountability, responsibility to our boardroom. And we'll go through the entire federal budget line by line. Eliminate any spending that isn't helping our families. We'll start by ending this war in Iraq.
He has to change foreign policy and our reputation around the world. By basically being hopefully more diplomatic, internationally diplomatic versus being more military oriented and focused.
Lui dice di voler sedersi al tavolo con Chavez, vuole sedersi al tavolo con Ahmadinejad, vuole sedersi al tavolo con la gente che in questo momento non riflette decisamente gli amici degli Stati Uniti, e parlare con loro e chiarire i punti per cui loro non reputano l'America un paese amico. Chi ti trovi davanti è refreshing, molto di speranza. L'America non ha esportato la cultura con i carri armati, l'America ha esportato la paura, ha esportato la violenza, e quello che sta succedendo nel mondo, grazie alla politica estera di Bush, di Cheney e di Condoleezza Rice, non rappresenta gli Stati Uniti che io amo.
I think he's just going to be fair with everybody. That's what I think. I think he's going to have a reason for everything, and he's going to do right for everything. He knows what he's doing, and he's a good guy.
You know, predicting what he'll do, and I know some international friends of mine are very skeptical. They point to the Democrats taking over Congress, and still the war goes on, it's still being funded. And I understand that skepticism. But
to say that you can change like this military-industrial complex that we have going on, it seems like, you know, entrenched in Washington is this idea and these people that think that, you know, a war is the only way forward. You know, and a lot of times they have their own personal interests. But to say that he'll be the one to change that, I think that he'll be the one to say, you know, take a, you know, 2 steps back from where we are now. Whether he'll turn in the other direction, I don't know.
Might do some things. I'm afraid that some of the policy in the Middle East will never change. I'll give you an example. Colin Powell supported Obama, correct? He supported Obama. And Obama right away accepted his endorsement, and he said he's going to be in, I don't know exactly what he said, but he's going to be part of his cabinet or of his consulate. This is the guy who went to the United Nations and he was lying about the Iraq war, and he took this nation to war. And Obama is espousing his view somehow. So you see what I'm getting to.
We have a history of overcoming Philadelphia. That's what America's about. That's what we're fighting for. And if you will join with me, if you will work with me, and organize with me, and make phone calls with me, and knock on doors with me, I promise you, we won't just win Philadelphia, we'll win Pennsylvania. And you and I together, we are going to change this country, and we are going to change the world. God bless you, everybody.
I hope he wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.